All right, this is a video a little slightly more advanced. So if you've been rowing for a little bit or just want to get that next step, here's the video for you. So I'm just going to quickly go over some key things that Coach Meehan will be really focusing on, as well as just some things that he'll be saying that might be a little confusing that I want to help clear up since he's coached me for some time, so I can sort of know what he's talking about with certain things. So the really critical thing that he's going to continue to really work on for basically the rest of your Oakton Sea career is this idea of squaring the blade down in. Now, what does this mean? When we're moving in a boat, right, we're trying to get as much reach as possible, reaching out as far as possible and pushing as far as possible to send the boat as far as we possibly can per stroke. So it all comes down to how we put the blade right there into the water. So the thing that we really are going to try and focus on is pushing up and in. What a lot of people will do is they'll start to bring the blade up, but then they'll start to push with their legs before the blade is in the water. And if this is the water, it's like if they go here and they start to push, well, you're losing this section. Instead of going in and then pushing, they're starting to push like this. You see that? They're sort of slicing it into the water and missing length, which is speed, basically. It's just like, for example, if you're on a skateboard and you're going to push off, right? You want to reach out as far with your foot, get contact, and then push as far as you can. The same way, we're trying to lock in as far back and send as far back. So one way to think about this is you want to start to put it up a split second before you push. So basically, you're going up, you push, and you lock in, and then you push. And it's hard to explain, but it's just a split second, and you'll feel, it almost feels like you're backing the blade, like you're moving the boat in the opposite direction. But what that means is you're putting it in, and because the water's rushing this way, you'll feel this water push against the blade. So it'll feel like you're almost moving the boat backwards. But what it's actually meaning is he'll say something like feeling the water on the bow side of the blade or the back side of the blade. Basically, that's a good thing. That means you're getting it in, you're feeling the water, and then you're pushing, and that means you're getting full connection. And what will happen is a lot of people think, oh, well, I want it to be a beautiful blade entry with no splash or anything. The thing is, because your boat is moving, so if you just think of it as the water, it's moving in this direction. As you place, you're interrupting that flow. So if you're doing it correctly, there will be water that shoots up in sort of a V shape. And I'll send a video, but if you look at a lot of the great crews, you'll see it. The water sprays up because it's being entered before they push. That's the key thing here, remember. Now, one other big thing Coach Meehan will really be talking about in the first couple weeks of practice is we're going to be doing a lot of very slow work, low rating, hard pressure. And what this will really take is a lot of body control to be able to push hard and then just be very gentle and slow, gradual with the recovery. And if you don't do this, you'll hear a lot of, slow down, son, until you figure it out. So I'm just here to give you a little heads up so that you're aware and you can start thinking about this now before we get on the water. Okay, it'll be a lot of hard, like max pressure at like a 12 strokes a minute, and then just thinking about being very relaxed coming up. And this will take body control, but you're just gonna have to learn how to be very gentle and then powerful at this sort of one right after another. So that's another big thing. Lastly, you'll talk a lot about acceleration and being smooth out of the finish. So he wants us to go push and just tap down and immediately just come out at the same speed that you're coming at, right? You're gonna be pulling in and just a slight tap down with your outside elbow just to extract the blade out of the water and coming out. So it'll be like a little C. Now, Ben Abrams, the coxswain last year, thought about it as it'll be a little C coming out of the finish, start to come down to get the blade off the water, and then as you go back to put in the blade, it'll be a big C like so, it'll look like this as you lock it into the water and then press. What I was talking about, getting that blade like that, your handle will look like this. Before it's in the water, you'll start to push. It'll be a bit of a check mark because you're starting to push and the blade is gonna go like this and slice in the water and you're gonna lose some length. And as Coach Meehan will often say, you miss this little bit every stroke. Over the course of a race that's about 200 strokes, multiply that by 200, and that is a lot. So every little single thing that you do that will affect the stroke length and the speed of the boat is magnified over the course of a race. So all of these little things are very important. So that's everything for me, but just remember, big thing is being able to square that blade down in and then press. Get the blade in. It's no use to push if your blade isn't in the water. You're just wasting energy. So you want to get it in and then push. You'll feel an instant before you lock it in and then you push, and that is how you will do well this year. So enough talk. See you on Monday.